All right, guys, welcome back to another video covering Formula Fan Championship. Today we've got round 7 at Japan, but going over the last race's results, we did manage to come in P1, our teammate finishing in P2, so 1-2 for us. McLaren having a pretty good race as well. Ollie and David finishing P3 and P4. Jumping over to the driver standings. After the race, we now have a, what is that, a 33-point lead over Ollie. Pretty good for us if we can continue to maintain that kind of performances going forward. Going over to the constructors, that is not the constructor standings. Hold on, just stupid, so don't worry. Bear with me for a second. Going over to constructor standings, we got almost a 100-point lead on McLaren. So as long as we don't make any big mistakes and really like bottle the championship, we should be okay. Should have a good result as long as we can get a good result today. So I won't keep you guys in suspense. Let's hop into qualifying and see if we can continue this run of good form. All right, so here we are on board for our final qualifying run. As you can see, we're currently sat in P5, and you can see from the weather that it's also wet qualifying, so with wet weather not really being my strong suit, my pace falls off quite a bit in the wet weather. We'll see what we can do here. As you can see, very limited by the battery deployment, and at the time there was actually a glitch where you could be actually limited to only being able to use medium instead of medium and hot lap. So here we were able to use medium and hot lap, so it's not exactly an excuse. Very bad SS section, as you can just see, just sliding around everywhere. We are running a dry setup for this qualifying, so the downforce isn't exactly there for the wet weather, but just not as committed as we probably could be. We're pretty awful on the traction. I'm thinking that in the future, if the weather is going to be wet, that I might just go ahead and switch the traction control off, because if I'm going to qualify as bad as I am, even with a 1.1 second improvement, might as well turn it off for the wet weather to give ourselves a better chance at securing a better qualifying position when the wet weather comes out, because frankly this is it's just not great. I mean, despite we're still 1.5 seconds up, 1.4 seconds up going into the final corner here, which is good. We set a purple middle sector, but unfortunately, as you'll see here in a second, it's just not going to be enough. Honestly, not a terrible run through the final sector either, but just not going to be enough to put us very high. We get up to 4th position, and we'll jump to the end of qualifying to see where we end up at. Here we are at the end of qualifying. Formula Drilly, who I believe was making his first appearance, taking pole position with a 140.817, pretty good lap considering that he's almost 3/10 to second place. B Starkey with a good qualifying. Dom with a great qualifying as well. Ollie not too far behind. We come out in 6th position, almost an entire second off the pace, so that's pretty tough, but thankfully we're not too far back, so we'll see what we can do in the main race. So here we are at the end of the formation lap, and you might be asking yourself, Psychotical, what are you doing starting on hards? It is a medium hard strategy here, but what you did not see is that there is actually going to be rain towards the end of this race here, and so we decided to start on the hards because the hards could go all the way until the rain. So me and my teammate Jeffy we're going to do that, but Jeffy accidentally selected softs, so he'll be on a 2-stop or a 3-stop, or yeah, 2-stop strategy. We're on a 1-stop when the rain comes. So it's like it's every single race. That's why I'm just probably not racing here after this season, because it's just ridiculous. You can hear me complaining about the fact that somebody readied up early, so I'm not trying to be mean to you, but just having a little bit of communication with our teammate as the 5 red lights come on to go racing around Japan. Can we get a good start? Can we get ahead of our championship rival? We get a pretty awful start. As you can see, Jeffy going super far ahead of us. Dom losing out on the start as we just decide to sort of try and survive here on the first couple of laps. As you know, you're going to, it's very easy to pick up wing damage here through the S's on lap 1. So
okay, I have Stormy behind
and our hard tires are not quite fired up, as you can see here in just a second. We go wide onto the grass and actually end up losing a position to Stormy Loki. B Starkey losing a position on the right side of the track. So now here on the first lap, we are quite far back from the main pack, so we are going to need to make something happen here. Okay, so we try and send a little bit of a move there. Stormy kind of covers us off a little bit, so we have to check up, but we eventually get past him. 1.5 seconds behind of Dom right now, so we'll have to see if we can break into that 1 second gap here. Get our first warning on the right side of Spoon, so that is not exactly the right way to do it.
Nice.
Going through the final sector now. It does not look like we could have burned battery here, I think, to get back in within that 1 second window, but really right now our race is not going to be competitive with those guys on the softer compounds of tires because our hards are still cold. So we'll just have to bide our time. After about 4 or 5 laps, the pace should start coming to us, so as long as we can keep Grand Alpaca behind, we should be good. So we'll jump ahead and we'll see when things start to get a little bit interesting.
You hit Leo. What are we doing, bro? Leo, what are we doing? You can't be hitting people, bruh. Jeffy with a much better exit, but it will be Drilly with the overtake. And Slipstream gets ahead. The grid starting to separate quite a lot in the midfield. The brothers going really at it right now. Mike Evans already lap 2, 3 second time penalty. Dude, what are we doing? Ooh, these two really going at it. Mike Evans has a broken front wing. Interesting. Jeffy very close behind of Drilly right now. Same with Dominator, very close to Eliminator. A lot of people moving up and down the grid. It looks like somebody has lost control into the hairpin or has been spun. I think High Power in the Williams. Jeffy still holding on to the lead for the time being. Does Drilly have the run on him, though? Down this back straight. Down going into 130R. Does not, or is choosing to harvest some battery. Now has it. Outside going into the chicane. Can get a better exit speed through here on a different line. Has it. And will still have overtake over Jeffy. Should be an easy move from Drilly to get ahead here. Is ahead before turn 1. Back into the race lead. And has put up quite a bit of a gap already on Jeffy. Let's check in on some of these closer battles right now. Starkey and the McLaren going side by side. RNG and Starkey. Starkey falling all the way down into 10th. What happened to him? 8 positions lost at the start of the race? What are we doing to lose that many positions? These two back very close together. Same with Dominator. Dominator was at one point very, very close to the rear end of Eliminator, but not anymore. 4-car train at the moment. Stormy Loki very close to Earl. Here goes Jeffy. More battery, maybe. No, yes, more battery. We'll have the slipstream. We could see another overtake. Yes, we do. It is Jeffy now ahead again. It's we're getting a bit of a flip-flopping between these two drivers. But now this is giving Eliminator a chance to make a move. No move made, but he is very, very close. The front 4 are continuing to gradually come closer and closer together. Let's look at Earl. Let's see, are these guys all on softs? No, Eliminator on mediums. This is great for him. Eliminator now in the lead. We have had, it was just for a moment. It was just for a moment, but we have had 3 unique leaders in this race so far. Drilly pitting, that is early. Only 4 laps on the softs? That is very early. Or maybe not. Maybe depending on when the rain comes, they're trying to maximize. I guess I didn't go over it earlier, but my guess here is the rain is gonna come so soon that people are thinking doing a soft to medium or maybe even like a soft to hard strategy. So we shall see how that goes. What has Drilly switched onto? Yeah, switched onto mediums. Maybe the rain will come kind of soon actually.
Here we are on board for lap 6. As you can see from the commentary that was just shown, there's a lot of battling going on at the front of the grid. So we're just kind of sitting back, taking care of our tires, saving fuel, and actually benefiting quite a bit from this. As you can see, the gap hasn't really increased by too much. And here on lap 6, you'll start to see it kind of begins to come down as we'll be riding on board for the next couple of laps, as this is where the race kind of starts to heat up for us. And so going over here into the Degnas, we kind of take it a little bit easy. No real reason to push super hard. We do already have 1 warning, and our tires are going to come back to us, especially with the battling in front. Our teammate kind of communicating like, hey, we're slowing down quite a bit from all of this battling. So there really was no reason for us to push super hard. We didn't have a great run through the hairpin, but thankfully it didn't hurt us too much. Again, with the guys battling in front, not really much to worry about as well, with our tires starting to fire up as well. As you can see, Dom and Ollie going side by side through Spoon. That is going to cost them quite a bit of time, and that is actually going to bring us into overtake if we can actually stay within it. For some reason, I decided to save battery here instead of deploy it. Maybe just trying to play a bit of the long game here. It does look like we're going to end up getting overtake anyway, which is good, but do have to be careful just to make sure that you don't, because every lap that you have overtake is a significant pace difference, as you'll see in some of the other races that I will be uploading relatively soon. Overtake mode does make a huge difference, but we're kind of taking it easy here through turn 1, kind of taking it easy here through the S's. We know we're going to catch up to these guys. The biggest thing is going to be getting through them cleanly without making a mistake. First target we're going to need to pick off is Dom in the Ferrari ahead on soft, so his tires are going to be relatively cooked, and he's still trying to go side by side with Ollie, maybe through the Degnas. He thinks better of it. A bit of a wise decision there, but as you can see, we have a ton of battery, 90% battery, so thinking about a move here, but we decide to back off and save our battery, maybe trying a move down into Spoon here. We get a decent exit out of the hairpin. Could have done better, obviously, but we are just kind of holding position for the time being. It doesn't seem like our hearts have certainly fired up, but it doesn't look like it's that overwhelming dominant advantage. Dom getting a little bit wide on exit here, which is going to give us a bit of an opportunity, a bit of a run here down the back stretch going towards 130R. So we'll see if we can get a move done. We end up running wide through no fault of Dom, so we'll have to relent on this occasion. Lucky to not pick up a track limits there as we run through the final set of corners again. Jeffy deciding to pit at this point, the soft tires giving up for him. Dom does have a 3-second penalty, so that is something for us to consider. We don't have to go super hard to try and pass him. Obviously, we don't want to be held back, especially with the guys who have already pit behind us. We do want to keep that track position till the rain. So Dom getting a bit squirrelier through the S's is going to give us a bit of an opportunity here if we can get it hooked up. The dirty air kind of playing a bit of a factor as we go up through Dunlop towards the 2 Degnas. We're just kind of sitting in the wheel tracks of Dom, but as you can see, Ollie's starting to pull away in the front, our championship leader in the Red Bull today, because people stole his McLaren. We thought about a move into the hairpin, but we think better of it, forcing Dom maybe to burn a bit more battery than he would normally. So maybe we'll have a bit of a run here going down into Spoon. You can see he's already starting to flash, so we are going to have a bit of a run on him. We're going to try and poke our nose in around the outside. We switch to the inside line, and we get tangled up
I just drifted wide
on the inside. In hindsight, I don't think this is actually my fault, but I ended up giving the position back. But you can see that that cost us a significant amount of time to Ollie in front, so that is going to hurt our race pretty significantly. It probably was unwise to send a move there in hindsight, but we should have this move done on the next time of asking here as we pick up our second track limits warning. Very silly to get that done, especially when we're not even really pushing behind Dom. It can be kind of easy to get caught out a little bit. We do have a bit of a run here, a bit of an overspeed, but I think we are just going to take the opportunity to recharge some more battery, force Dom to get defensive with his battery deployment, which will significantly play into our hands here on this lap, as you'll see. Keeping medium on through the S's to give ourselves a bit of a drive off the corner as Drilly sets the fastest lap of the race. We have a much tighter line through Dunlop here, so we are on the gearbox of Dom, deploying a lot of battery here just to get him nice and drained of battery. Obviously, him not having overtake anymore. He has a pretty awful run through the second Degna, which will give us a bit of a run here. So we kind of send a big move to the inside, and on the exit we forget to shut off medium, so we get a ton of wheel spin, but that does force him to go out wide, which is going to give us an opportunity again here going down into Spoon. So we're going to get our elbows out here, but thankfully we don't necessarily have to. But he comes back on the inside. We bang wheels a little bit, but with overtake mode and the fresher tires, we should have this move done no problem. We'll see if we can hold it here going to 130R. Dom is right on our gearbox. He is going to try and get the move done, but it seems that he runs out of battery, so he has to relent. And with us with the fresher tires, we should be a-okay, even though we will not have overtake for this lap and we are a bit low on battery. If we can just hold it through turn one, we should be okay. And as you can see from the delta, it is coming down, but not enough to be concerned. So now we're just looking to put in some solid laps here until we can catch up to Ollie, and or either when Ollie pits, or if we can catch up to him. So we'll see if we can do that. So we are on lap 12, and as you can see, we have not caught Ollie at all. His pace was absolutely mega today in the race, as he had to spin 1 and 2. And you can see a virtual safety car comes out, and so we kind of have a choice of what we want to do here. We can come into the pits and take advantage of a cheap pit stop, but as you can see, the weather is starting to change a little bit, and so at this point we're actually going to opt to stay out, and for good reason, obviously, because the rain is coming very, very soon. There's no reason to pit at the moment. 2 fresh tires when the rain is going to be coming in just a couple laps. As you can see, the VSC already ending. That is going to cost Ollie a lot as he came into the pit lane. That is going to hurt his race chances as he decides to pit right before the rain starts to fall, and pitting under green flags, basically. So we'll see where he ends up coming out. It does seem like he is going to come out behind Jeffy in the Aston Martin, our teammate. They're side by side through the first corner. I actually think Ollie ends up keeping the position, but Jeffy should be able to battle with him on his mediums for the first couple of laps while the hard tires fire up, and that will help us out significantly as well as we wait for the rain to start falling. So we'll jump ahead to that point. So we are on board on lap 16 out of 27. Jeffy and Ollie still going at it as we come through the final set of corners. I was getting about 500 phone calls at this moment, but you can see from the halo that the rain is starting to fall. So the track is going to start becoming a bit suspect over the next couple of laps. So we are going to have to be careful and adapt our driving style to the mixed conditions. The track is going to be very, very greasy here in just about a lap or two. So you could hear me telling Jeffy that I would let him know when to come into the pits, as I have a tool that allows me to see when certain tires will be faster than others. So a bit sweaty, but that's how you win races. So We'll fast forward to the point where it is actually time to go ahead and come into the pits for the intermediate tire. Here we are at the end of lap 18. As you can see, our tires are very worn at this point. We're struggling a little bit with grip here, and you can see the track has already deteriorated quite a bit from the last time that I was on board with you guys. So you see just the line through the final corner is just so slow. So you can see we decided to come into the pits this time. Ollie has caught us by quite a bit here, so we'll see if he decides to stay out or not. Our teammate will be copying us. He has 12 seconds back, so he will be able to come into the pits without any issue. Ollie deciding to pit as well, copying our strategy, as he should with his pace advantage. So we will see where we end up coming out. I think that nobody is within range to jump us, even if they were to stay out. So we'll see. We come out in first place. We'll see where we are relative to Ollie when he comes out of the pits. We should be relatively close. Obviously, overtake has not been disabled yet, so we do retain that advantage, at least for a little while longer, versus Ollie, who will be stuck in the slow first sector. So we'll see when the Sturos decide to cut off overtake mode. Should be very soon. As you can see, the track is deteriorating just very quickly over just a handful of laps, and so we'll see what happens here going towards the end of the race. There's only 8 laps of racing left, so we'll see if Ollie can catch us. He would have to be catching by over a second a lap. As you can see, the overtake mode being disabled. Thankfully, the glitch did not affect us, and we do have hot laps, so that is a big benefit. So we'll see where we end up. Here we are on board on lap 21. As you can see, Ollie has caught us by a couple of seconds already. Our pace dropping off pretty significantly as the rain comes out. As you can see, we're just not very good in the wet. That is kind of a problem. It's definitely something that I need to work on going forward, just because it is sort of costing me quite a bit. If I was even halfway decent in the wet, this would be a slam dunk win, barring any sort of stoppages or anything like that that might take place. This would have been, you know, a slam dunk win if we could just maintain some decent pace. But you can see there is a safety car coming out. You can hear the dejection in my voice, as I know basically at this point that it's going to be a tall task to try and maintain this lead. We switched the car into lean mode to try and save some fuel. So with the safety car coming out, we'll see where we end up, but it's going to be very difficult for us to hold on to the race win here with Ollie behind. So we'll see if we can. Here we are on board for the safety car restart, so we'll see what we can do. Our teammate Jeffy actually picking up wing damage under the safety car by ruining another driver, and that gave him a 10-second as well, so he is in the muds. We'll see where we can end up on the safety car restart here, as we're just swerving a little bit to try and keep some temperature in the tires, going very slow through the final set of corners. When do we decide to go? We decide to go out of the final corner. We get a somewhat decent run out of the restart. We're definitely not under threat from Ollie behind, but these last couple of laps are going to be defending pretty much like a lion the whole time, as we have basically no pace here on the intermediates. Maybe Ollie running a bit of a higher downforce setup than we were. It did seem like he had more pace than us overall for basically the entire weekend, other than well, even in qualifying in the dry, or sorry, in the wet, he had more pace than us. So we just more so benefited from the fact that we had the right strategy. So we'll see if we can hang on here. It's going to be tough as we head into the Degnas. He's only 2/10 behind us. We have dropped B Starkey. Obviously there is no overtake, but he is far back now, so it is just a 2-horse battle here for the race win. As you can see, our teammate trying to hang on to as many positions as he can to help us out in the constructors as we head out of the hairpin. We do manage to pull a second gap to Ollie. He must have made a small mistake there as we run now down towards Spoon. we'll see if we can maintain this gap or if we just lose it all immediately. Does look like we maintain a decent gap at the moment, but as I said, you will see the time start to kind of slip away a little bit for us as we head into the penultimate lap. We are 1.2 almost seconds ahead of Ollie. Obviously, no lifting and coasting required here in the last stage of the race, especially in the wet weather with the battery recharge. So we will be pushing flat out to the end. The gap is still 1 second, so that is helpful for us. Obviously, we want to try and keep that as high as possible. Our teammate a little bit upset at the fact that he has no downforce, no drive out of the corner, so he was a bit upset with that. But we're just trying to keep him going, as if he finishes within the top 10, he'll still get points even with a 13-second penalty. So we're trying to just keep him. Keep him in the race. We're kind of arguing a little bit. I did apologize to him for this. I was a bit stressed at the moment trying to keep Ollie behind. You wouldn't think it with a 1 second gap to him, but you'll see here very quickly that gap starts to disappear. But I did apologize to Jeffy. I felt like that was a bit unnecessary to get mad at him like that. If I was in a position, I would be just as mad. So, and you'll see in one of my other races in Saudi Arabia, I actually had a bigger crash out than that. So stay tuned for that in PTRL. But going through Spoon on the penultimate lap, the gap has come down to 7/10. I can start to hear his engine in my wheel tracks behind me as I look back and see him starting to get into my slipstream. So that is going to hurt us quite a bit here as we go through 130R. It's still easily flat even in the wet. We turn our battery back on before the final corner here. So now we head on to the final lap of asking here at Japan. Can we hold on to the win in these tricky conditions? We do kind of need it for the Drivers' Championship with us missing races. So can we do it? Let's see. Running down into turn 1, the gap is 5/10. So it's come down again. We get a bit wide, but we get back to the apex somewhat nicely. But as you can see, we drop by about 1/10. We'll see what we can carry here through the S's. As you can see, Ollie matching our pace and actually doing slightly better as he's already gained 1/10 on us. Gained another 10th through that corner as well. So we are struggling quite a bit here. Hopefully we do not have to go defensive into the Degnus, as that would be very concerning. Thankfully we do not, so we end up holding it for the time being. So going through Degna 2, he's only 2/10 back. He might try and have a look here, but it looks like we got a much better exit, so that does save us quite a bit as we head into the hairpin here. Can we hold it here at Japan? We only have one sector just about to go, only 2 more corners really to try and hold it here. He's 3/10 back, almost 2/10 back. He is going to have a run on us here out of Spoon. We get a pretty awful run here, and so that is going to help him pretty significantly, especially with the slipstream. You can see the gap already starting to come down. We look to the back to see if we're going to have to throw a defensive shake here. The slipstream is doing him a big favor here. We think about maybe moving to the inside. We put our car in the middle of the track to try and make it as difficult as possible for him to go through. I think Ollie ended up locking the front tire, and so that does allow us to come across the line just about in first place and take the race win. A great win for us, considering our lack of pace. I was really proud of the fact that we were able to hold on to the win. It was pretty tough. Our teammate, as you can see, spiraling down the order, but all things considered,
Christ, man, that was...
you can hear me just completely out of it, as I was just exhausted after pushing as hard as I was.
They may go. It's okay.
We're trying to keep our teammate encouraged, but it was a good race. Our teammate picking up the fastest lap. We can go and look at the preliminary results here. We do come in first ahead of Ollie in second. B Starkey getting a podium, his first podium, I think, that I can remember. I'll have to look and see maybe, but Formula Drilly on debut getting 4th place, not a bad finish for him. Our teammate Vital on finishing in 5th. I do believe he gets dropped down due to penalties, though, so that was a bit unfortunate. Ghost RNG in 6th. Dom dropping down to 7th place. Swagzera in 8th. Stormy in 9th. Grand Alpaca in 10th. And then the rest of the grid, including our teammate, not scoring any points. But it was overall a good race. We got the strategy right, which did help us quite a bit with the track position. It allowed us to defend on the last lap. So if you've made it this far in the video, I do appreciate it. Thank you for watching. I do apologize for not uploading for almost a month. I've just been kind of busy. I'm about to move here in a couple weeks, so I've been sort of getting ready for that, as well as I've picked up quite a few leagues, and so a bit more than I probably should. So I'll be cutting back pretty soon, and I'll make a bit of a video about all of the leagues. Once they come to an end, I'll let you know which ones I'm going to stay in and which ones I'm not. I'm not quite decided yet, but I still will be doing commentary, so you'll see those come up from time to time for FSR. I also do IRL's commentary. It's another league that I race in. I do it on their YouTube, though, so you'll have to look up Intrepid Racing League if you want to check that out. But if you made it all the way to the end again, thank you. Do appreciate it. If you want to see me live, head over to twitch.tv/psychotical. I'm trying to reach affiliate, so if you could give me a follow or drop into the stream, I need to average 3 viewers per stream for 2 more streams in order to reach affiliate. So if you could just leave the stream open whenever you get the chance, I would greatly appreciate it. But until next time, I will see you.